Hi, this is Dave from Hectors Smokehouse, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Ager DX1000 dry aging fridge. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the Ager DX1000 dry aging fridge. If this is the first time you come to the channel, welcome on board and hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button. If you've come back again, then welcome back again. I've been gone for a while, but I've nearly got my new studio finished or set finished, and hopefully I'll be producing a lot more videos. So in terms of dry aging, I got into dry aging probably over the last couple of years, and I invested in a small dry aging fridge just before Christmas, and you can see a review up at the top of the dry aging fridge that I bought at the time. But I did have some problems with it, and I wasn't happy with what it did to some of the meats, and I lost actually a lot of expensive meat in the dry ager as the temperature went up. So there's a further review which you can watch at the top there as well of what happened with that dry aging fridge. So I started to look around and thought, no, I still want a dry aging fridge. I wanted to produce a lot more videos, and I enjoy the flavour and texture of dry aged meat. So I started looking around trying to find different types of dry aging fridge, and I came across the dry ager from Germany. So this is a German-made dry aging fridge. This is made by the same company that does the lava vacuum sealer. I've got a big vacuum sealer that I use for competitions, which is about 18 inches. There's a video for the review up there of the lava, and the quality is second to none. So I was really happy with the lava that I had before. I also then started to look at this fridge and realised that it was used by people like Gordon Ramsay. So it's used in different restaurants around the world by a lot of major chefs. So I had a lot more confidence that the quality and the way it was going to get looked after and the warranty would be a lot better with this fridge. So the fridge is a lot more expensive. It is quite expensive for what you're actually buying, and for an enthusiast like me, that's quite a lot of money. But I thought to myself, I want to do these videos. I've got maybe 30 videos planned at the moment, and thought to myself it's worth the investment. If you're a butcher or a restaurant, then I reckon the return on investment on these is fantastic. You get your money back very, very quickly if you're turning over a lot of steaks. So there's a real benefit from buying something like this if you're actually a restaurant or a butcher. So the plan is for me to do maybe 20, 30 videos over the next 6 months to a year. I'm looking at the difference between dry aging for 21 days, 30 days, 45 days and 60 days. And I'm also going to use different cuts of meat. How dry aging works on things like brisket, how it works on rump cap, picanha, how it works on top sirloin or D-rump. So I'm going to try and see what it does and how it looks after those meats and what it does to those meats. The things that I like about dry aging, the flavour that it imparts on the meat is amazing. It's very, very different to a normal cut of meat. And also, it creates a lot of tenderness in the meat as well. So the flavours of the meat start to change. You get more of a umami type flavour into the meat, and you get flavours that can range from the meat tasting more buttery through to tasting like hard cheddar cheese, that sort of smell and aroma and taste. And also to blue cheese, you get the aroma of blue cheese in there as well. So it can get quite strong depending on what you've done. So between 21 days and 30 days, you're getting more of a buttery aroma, and you start to get a lot more tender meat. After 30 days, the meat starts to get a bit more funky. The flavours become more intense, so you're starting to look at getting aromas around cheddar cheese. At 45 days, that aroma starts to get into a blue cheesy type of aroma, but the meat gets nice and tender. So the longer you actually dry age, the more intense the flavour becomes. And at some points, maybe around about 45, 60 days, more and more people get more divided about whether they like the flavour, because it becomes more intense. But it's more of an acquired taste at 60 days. But I'm going to be doing experiments and trying different lengths of time to see what those flavours taste like against different cuts of meat. In cool rooms and standard fridges, the actual weight loss through the dry aging process can be as much as 30%. One of the features I liked about the DX1000 is that you're actually only losing between 7 and 8% of the initial starting weight. So that means you've got a much better yield. And if you're in a restaurant or you're a butcher, that means a lot if you're actually getting more meat out during that dry aging process. The DX1000 can also be used for charcuterie, so it can be used for hams and cheeses and those type of things as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through some of the features and functions of the DX1000 and show you a little bit about the build quality. This is the main control panel for the DX1000. On here you can see that you can control your temperature, and you can also control your humidity and use your up and down buttons to go up and down for setting each of them. You can turn it on and off. You can actually turn the light on as well, and there's also a defrost button. So everything that you need is actually on the front. And the temperature control goes up in increments of 0.1 degrees centigrade, from 0 centigrade to 25 centigrade, or that's 32 Fahrenheit up to 77 Fahrenheit. They recommend 2 degrees centigrade or 36 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for actually setting the temperature for dry aging. You can then also set the humidity controller between 60% and 90%. And the amazing thing about doing that is you do not actually need any water in this one. Whereas my old one had a water tank, this one you need no water at all to actually run the humidity control. The DX1000 has a DX air Reg system. This comprises of a couple of different parts. One is a UVC light system to sterilise the fridge, and also a carbon filter. Up here at the top you can see this is the UVC light system, and that is a ventilated disinfectant system. UVC creates very short UV wavelengths that damage bacteria and viruses and pathogens, and it damages the nucleic acid in the microorganisms, so it stops them from being able to reproduce and keep alive. So every minute the air is circulating through the fridge and going through here, and between that and the carbon filter it actually kills all the microorganisms and bacteria that are inside the fridge. At the back here at the bottom you can see an activated carbon filter sterilisation system, and that helps to remove any odours and also helps to adjust the humidity. When you use that in combination with the UVC light, that's what actually keeps the bacteria and bugs outside of the fridge and kills everything off. At the bottom of the fridge is the salt air salt blocks. These are 4 Himalayan salt blocks sitting in a stainless steel container. These are used to absorb moisture. They actually pull the moisture away from the meat and help it to become dry aged. They also have antimicrobial properties which help with smell, and they also add flavour as well. An additional accessory on the fridge is a black podium. So this podium is around 400 mil high, and it allows the fridge to sit off the floor, making it a little bit more ergonomic, where even the bottom of the fridge is at a reasonable height. When this came, it came with just standard feet. What I did was I changed the feet and I actually added on there casters. These casters are pretty strong. They're an M10 thread and they have locks on them as well. So what I'll be able to do is to be able to move this around really easily around the cooking areas where I'm actually using it in the new shed. So I think this is a really good additional accessory, and that really lifts it up and makes it look fantastic. It takes it to another new level. The DX1000 is the larger of the two fridges, and it's got a decent size volume in there, so approximately 450 litres internal, or equivalent of 120 gallons. It's around about 165 centimetres high, 70 centimetres wide and 75 centimetres deep. That equates to 65 inches high, 27.5 inches wide and 29.5 inches deep. The weight of the fridge is around about 200 pounds or 90 kilos, and the base is around about 400 high, so that lifts it up off the floor a little bit higher. You can put into it approximately 5 shelves in there if you want, and each shelf can hold around about 40 kilos of meat, or 88 pounds per shelf. You can also put hangers in, so you can hang full saddles in there as well. It can hold 2 to 3 beef saddles, and hung there can be around about 176 pound per hanger. The door is double glazed, so it's a double glazed door, so 2 pieces of glass, and it's got a metallic tint on it, so it protects the inside from any UV light. So if there's UV light going in there, the actual double glazing protects it from there, and then because it is double glazed, it's got good insulation. So other things that are of note for the fridge is it's got an auto defrost, so you can manually defrost, but it's also got an auto defrost. It's got an auto condensation evaporation. It has an alarm, so once the temperature changes or the humidity, it does alarm as well. The door is fantastic. It's actually got a lock on the door. So if you're putting in very expensive cuts of meat into here, you want to make sure that no one's going to be able to get in there, so you can actually lock the door. The other thing you can do is change the door over. So you can either have it opening from the left or you can have it opening from the right. So there are a lot of accessories that you can actually buy with the dry ager. They have different types of hanging bars, so you can put hanging bars for hanging the saddles. They have full shelves that cover the full depth of the actual fridge. You can have half shelves. So with a half shelf, you can put a cut of meat at the back and then still use a hanger and have a saddle hanging at the same time. You can buy the podium base, which I showed you earlier. You can do the salt blocks. You can get carbon filter replacements, which you need to change yearly, and also the UVC bulb needs to be changed yearly as well. The other versions that they have, this is the DX1000. There's also a DX500, which is more of a counter size, something that would go under a set of cupboards in your kitchen, and that's a much smaller unit, but that's the DX500. Also in the USA, they have a UX750 Pro and a UX1500 Pro. Now the difference with these is that they're for commercial use and are NSF and UL certified by Intertech. So the UX750 is the DX500 and the UX1500 Pro is the DX1000, but they're actually certified NSF and UL for commercial use. So that's the difference between those. The other addition that I actually put into the fridge, it was installed afterwards once I'd bought it, was a set of LED lights on the back. So you can see them over there at the back now, and you can choose different colors. So you can change them to blues, you can go purples and reds, you can go to greens, you can change them to any color you want. And then you've also got the opportunity to actually make them change colors and rotate through colors. And there's lots of different patterns and different things that you can actually do with these. So they can be slow, fast, and it just cycles through colors. Or you can have it as a standard color. You can also adjust the brightness and bring the brightness down or the brightness up. So that's all done with a remote control. So it looks a bit funky. It's not really doing anything, but it actually looks really nice. And I think for what I'm looking for in my cooking area in the new shed that I've done, I think it actually lifts the fridge up and makes it a real focal point. So hopefully you enjoyed this review of the Ager DX1000 dry aging fridge. As you can see, it's incredibly well built. and I think the engineering is going to be excellent because it is German manufactured and engineered. I think this is going to be a really good investment for me for all the videos that I'm going to be producing over the coming year. You're going to be able to see as I go through this dry aging videos, you're going to be able to see how good the meat is that's actually coming off here. And I've got a lot of videos planned, lots of 21-day, 30-day, 45-day and 60-day videos to see what the difference is and what the difference is in flavours of all these different meats and all these different cuts. So hopefully you'll be able to see a lot more of those videos coming over the next 12 months. And even today, I'm going to be starting by putting my first cuts of meat into the dry ager. I've got 2 share Wagyu briskets going in there. I've got 2 share Wagyu rump caps going in there. And I've also got a share Wagyu D-rump or top sirloin. And what I'm going to do is age them for different times. So there's going to be some 21-day aging, 30-day aging, 45-day aging and 60-day aging. So look out for those videos. If you enjoyed this quick review of the DX1000, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel so you can see the future videos. Look forward to seeing you again soon.